What's good, my peoples? Happy Sunday and all that. It's your boy Jesus Christ. Today, I want to do a quick little piece on Kim and their misunderstood astrology. So, I want to give you the breakdown of what you're seeing in Kim because we have all of these things confused, and it's because we separate in the text. But once you learn how to combine the text, meaning the Enuma Elish to Kim, knowing how to combine Kim to Hinduism, but you have to read all the text, therefore you can point out when something needs to be connected. See, when I read the Enuma Elish and then I got to the part where Marduk had two sons and their names was Asar and Setu, I said, oh, that's Osar and Seti. So then I knew right then and there, this is the point where Kim civilization sprung up. Now the Enuma Elish keeps going after that point, but I know now this is where Kim civilization start, and this is where it come up. So now when they dating them back and they trying to figure out which one came first, and it's giving them a hard time trying to figure out, this is why. Because they not branching up. One civilization is not rising and then falling, and then another one's rising. One is rising, then another's rising, and they fall when they fall. So we got to understand what we seeing and what we reading. But I want to get into Kim astrology and how it's misunderstood as that's what they was worshiping. Now, I've always said all the ancestors from ancient times all worshipped the earth. They understood the earth was alive. But a lot of people think that Kim was worshipping the sun and moon and all these astrological signs, and they weren't worshipping these things. First, you got to understand how Kim came about. So I'm going to break that down to you right now. All right. This is how it went down. You got to understand, Lord Enki was a master scientist. This is the guy that supposedly created man. Master scientist. He's also the guy who created the year and the months. See, Marduk is Enki's son. Marduk was the leader of the Igigi. The Igigi was the watchers who were stationed on Mars. Their whole job was just observing Mars and the constellations. So Marduk was fully aware of astrology. He would be Enki's son that was a genius in astrology. One of Enki's other sons may have been a genius in biology. So all his sons had certain traits of his scientific mastery. You know what I'm saying? Marduk, fortunately, his was astrology. So now, at some point, Enki takes Marduk to the moon, and they stayed there for about a year. So I don't know exactly how long, it doesn't say. But they stayed there to observe the earth and how it circled the sun. So Enki realized, okay, the sun takes 365 days to orbit the sun completely. Then he observed as the earth is circling the sun, when 30 days pass, he realized, okay, this is a different point. This is a different point. This is how we get our months. So Enki is showing Marduk all of this, breaking down the orbit of the earth into 12, which will be the 12 months, and then breaking that down into the 4 weeks, and so on and so forth. And as the sun circled as the earth circled the sun, and let's say it passes 30 days. So then what Enki did was he named each month a span of time that he broke down into 12 parts. He named Anunnaki god after each of those. So let's say February may have been Enki, in January would have been Anu, in March would have been Ninma. So he gave the names of the months to all of the gods. And we do the same thing now, except we call it January, February, March. People in China, they call it whatever they call it. So it's still the same thing, but in the Enuma Elish, Enki basically, this is what he did. And he gave all this knowledge to Marduk. Now, when Marduk decided to marry the Earthling chick, Sarpanit, he had to exile out of Mesopotamia. This is why I think he exiled to Egypt or somewhere in Africa, because his first two sons are Asar and Setu, which is Osar and Seti. So that right there already struck a chord in my mind and said, okay, so Marduk is probably the guy who exiled out of Mesopotamia and went to Kem and flourished that civilization. And this is why you see like the pyramids and the Sphinx. These is all astrological signs. I don't think they was worshiping them when they was building them. It was a new civilization. They was trying to instill that month, week, days. People wasn't civilized. When you talking civilized, you talking that. Months, weeks, days. They understand hours, minutes, and they social. They understand civilization. So this was all new to Kim when Marduk got there, and this is the reason why you have everything looking like astrology, and because this is what Marduk did. So it's like giving praise to Marduk, you know, the astrological guy. So this is why Kim looked like that. Now, it is a possibility that when Marduk exiled out of Mesopotamia, he may have went to Atlantis. Because, see, this is where reading all the different texts come in handy. The reason I say that is because when I read the book of Thoth, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Thoth said when he came to Kem, the people was uncivilized. And he raised them up, blase blase, and he came with his peoples, which would be his brothers, which is Seti and Osar, and so on and so forth. Those is his people. So the reason I'm thinking that Marduk may have been exiled and went to Atlantis, and then his descendants, like his sons like Asar, Seti, Thoth, they all came into Kem and started Kem. The reason I said that is because in the book of Thoth, Thoth makes it sound as if when he came to Kem, he started Kem up and got them civilized. So if he's the one that got them civilized, and I know he's one of Marduk's sons, then it is a possibility that maybe Marduk didn't go there first. Maybe he was somewhere else, and then his descendants went there. But however it goes, this is why Egypt looks so astrology driven to that point, because you're dealing with the ancestors of fucking scientists, masters. So Egypt is just a representative of that, the wondrous job they done. That was like one of the first civilizations to flourish. You got to understand, before this time, no other civilizations was really flourishing. Each god went to his own area. Each Anunnaki went to its own area in the earth, and that's when that place flourished. So one of the Anunnakis went to Asia, went to China. These places flourished. Wherever they went, they brought civilization to the men there, because before this point, the men weren't civilized. Only the men that were in Mesopotamia living as servants among the Anunnaki, they were civilized. The rest of the humans, pretty much, we was humans how we are now, but we wasn't really living civil. So this is how that all come to pass. And hopefully y'all got something out of this. Hopefully y'all can see how important it is reading all the text. Because when you read all the text, when certain things come up, you can say, okay, I know this probably goes here, or that goes there. So it's just that simple. It's your boy Jesus Christ.